There are two ways to add integers. One is using a number line, and the other way is using absolute value. If you forget what absolute value is, take a look at a previous video. But we're going to do it on the number line right now. And you always start with 0. And when we add 1 plus 3, they're both positive, so it's going to be right. So I start at 0, and I'm going to go over 1. And then I'm going to go over from 1, 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then you want to see where you end up, and it's at 4. Here we start at 0. We're going to go left 2, and from that point we're going to go left 2 more. And we're going to end up at a -4. Now here the numbers are different, the signs are different. We're taking a +4 and a -7. So we're going to start with a +4 because it comes first. We're going to go right 4, and now we're going to go left 7. So you're going to count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 0, 1, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to end up at a -3. Here we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go right 5, and then we're going to go left 3. Count 1, 2, 3. And we end up at a +2. Here we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go left first because the first number is negative. So I'm going to go left 2, and then I'm going to go right 6. So count 1, 2, back to 0, 3, 4, 5, 6. And where do you end up? At 4. And here we're going to go left 5, and from there we're going to count 3 to the right because 3 is positive. We're adding 1, 2, 3. And where do we end up? At a -2. Now the drawing doesn't have to be quite so fancy. You don't even have to have numbers on your number line. You can just do a real crude quick. And you can do this even without a line. But it's a good idea to probably do this at first when you're first learning how to do this. Always start at 0. I'm going to go 2 and then 3 more. That's real quick. And so I know that the answer is going to be positive, and it's 5. Here, start at 0. I'm going to go left 5 and 3 more. Again, very crude, very quick, but just so that you know what side you're on. Are you on the negative side or the positive side? Well, this is the negative side. The answer is -8. Now here we got two different sides. You got to be careful. Start at the middle, 0. I'm going to go right 5, and 3 is less than 5. So when I go left, I'm not going to go back to 0. I'm only going to go part of the way. And the benefit of doing this really crude drawing is you know that you are in the plus side because we end up here. So it's going to be the difference between 5 and 3, and the answer is 2. Here we're going to start with the 4, and I'm going to go back 7. Well, I'm going to go past the 4 and beyond. And again, this is the negative side, so I know that my answer has to be a negative. -3. Here we're going to start probably here, and I'm going to go left 6, and then right just a little bit. So again, I'm in the negative side, -4. And here I'm going to start maybe down here. I'm going to go left 3 and right 9. So I'm going to go beyond my 0. I'm in the positive side here, so my answer is 6. I'm going to show you on the next video when we practice doing some of these. You don't necessarily have to use a number line. I'll show you other ways of doing it. Now, the definition in most algebra books is to add two integers with like signs, add their absolute values, and attach the common sign to the result. So the first problem I had here is two numbers that we're adding together with the same sign. So what does it say to do? It says to add their absolute value and take the sign that is common to both of these numbers, and it's negative. So I'm going to attach that. So I'm going to bring this down, and this is going to simply be 12 plus 18, because the absolute value of -12 is 12, and the absolute value of -18 is 18. So my answer is going to be a -30. Now, the next one, we have unlike signs, right here, unlike signs. So we're going to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value and attach the sign of the integer with the greater absolute value. Well, the absolute value of 18 is 18, the absolute value of 12 is 12, so 18 is larger. So I'm going to take 18 and I'm going to subtract the absolute value of negative 12. And my answer is going to be positive because the absolute value of 18 is the larger number, and it is a positive number. So this is simply 18 take away 12, which is 6. This one, however, we have to rewrite because the absolute value of negative 25 is larger than the absolute value of 15. So I'm going to change that to be 25 minus the absolute value of 15. But what does it say to do? It says to take on the sign of the larger absolute value. So the absolute value that's largest is negative 25. So it has to be a negative. So bring this down just like the first one, and this is now going to become 25 minus 15, which is a negative 10. All right, the next video I will show you how you can practice doing some of these. This workforce product was funded by a grant awarded by the United States Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration. The product was created by the grantee and does not necessarily reflect the official position of the U.S. Department of Labor. The Department of Labor makes no guarantees, warranties, or assurances of any kind, express or implied, with respect to such information, including any information on linked sites and including, but not limited to, accuracy of the information or its completeness, timeliness, usefulness, adequacy, continued availability, or ownership.